Hey, all right. Walmart is breaking the Second Amendment, and here's why. Businesses may be businesses, but you can't violate the First Amendment. So why can you violate the Second Amendment? Let me explain. If I walked into Walmart wearing a Donald Trump t-shirt and they kicked me out because of that and said, we don't allow people with Donald Trump t-shirts to come into Walmart, then they would be in serious legal trouble because they would be breaking my First Amendment right to freely express myself and have whatever opinions I want. Now, so that's based on the yes or no question of, speech, yes or no speech. Yes or no, are you speaking something? Are you expressing an opinion? Yes or no, are you using the First Amendment? They're not allowed to kick me out. Now, why is it different for a Second Amendment right? For yes or no Second Amendment right, somehow they can kick you out. That's not consistent. Either we have a First Amendment right or we don't. Either we have a Second Amendment right or we don't. It does not follow, nor is it legally sound, that our First Amendment rights stop at the door of any particular business or house. It is not legally sensible that my First Amendment right to wear a Donald Trump t-shirt should stop at the door of Walmart. And it does not legally follow that my First Amendment right to say "Make America Great Again" stops just as soon as I click on the world's biggest knitting and sewing website, or Pinterest, or Facebook, or Twitter. And it does not follow that just because you walk into Walmart, your Second Amendment rights go away. You can't force people to sign away their constitutional rights. And I say that it's not right, it's not legal that walking into Walmart should constitute an acceptance that you're not going to have a Second Amendment right here. Go this way. So here is the final verdict here. If my First Amendment right to wear a "Make America Great Again" t-shirt does not stop at the door of Walmart, then neither can my Second Amendment right. My Second Amendment right goes everywhere with me, just like my First Amendment right, just like my Third Amendment right, just like my Fourth Amendment right. It is unconstitutional and illegal that any business or even especially a federally or state-owned business can say, such as, for example, Caltrans, like a federal or state thing like Caltrans, can say, well, the fact that you're on our bus means that you've given up your Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Heck no. That's not only illegal and unconstitutional, but that does not even logically flow. You can't do that. My constitutional rights, my human rights, do not end at the door. If my First Amendment right can be taken away at the door of Walmart, then my 14th Amendment right can be taken away at the door of Walmart. If Walmart does not have to obey the First Amendment or the Second Amendment, then Walmart doesn't have to obey the 14th Amendment. If you don't enforce every single constitutional amendment everywhere, in every place of work, in every place of business, you don't have a First Amendment right if you are working for our business, and we'll fire you. You don't have a Fourth Amendment right in this particular zone or train. you don't have a Second Amendment right in my neighborhood or in my business. You don't have a First Amendment right on this college campus. You don't have a Second Amendment right or a Fourth Amendment right on the college campus. That's wrong. Not only is it wrong, it is illegal, because the Constitution says that the rights of the freedom of speech and the rights to bear arms shall not be infringed. You shall make no law regarding the establishment of religion, and that's not saying you shall have no religion, you shall be atheist. That's what a lot of atheists would love for the First Amendment to mean. But the establishment, religion is an institution. It's an establishment. The idea of religion in society is an institution. It is an establishment. It's something that is established. It's something that the human race has established in itself. It does not mean, religion is not something that's created or destroyed by government. When it says when it says there shall be no law made in regard to the establishment of religion, the establishment of religion exists. We're not going to make any laws in regards to it. It does not mean that you can't, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get in here. Get in here. Get out of my way. It does not mean that you can say, it doesn't say that we're not going to have the establishment of religion and we're not allowed to express our religion. It means you're not allowed to make any laws in regards to the practice of religion. So it's not possible to make a law about how religion is or is not expressed. You can't make any laws against religion. You can't make any laws that are for religion. But it does not say that you can't make a law based on religion. If you are a Jewish person and you believe that, for example, murder should be wrong, murder should be illegal, then you can use your religious basis to make a law. If you think that Judaism is true, and so you decide you want to make a law, you want to propose a law that is, for example, let's see, about the treatment of animals. There's parts of the Jewish law that talk about how to treat animals. Well then, for example, if you have a beast of burden and you're making it work, then you have to give it food. You have to let it eat from the food that you're producing. So you have to give it a percentage of what it's working for. All right, whatever. Just an example. If you have that belief, there's nothing against you exercising that by trying to make a law, and if people vote on it, then so be it. But what would be forbidden, the First Amendment guarantees that you have the religious right to do and say what you want, and the free exercise thereof, that you can do and say what you want based on your religious beliefs, both in public and in private, and in any, and in any public official position, elected position. Wherever you go, you can live out your religion. What we can't do is make a law that requires anyone else to do something different. So, needless to say, without me going too much more into detail about this, I think that our First Amendment is being hijacked to constrict religion, to prevent, to outlaw religion in the public sphere. And that is the exact opposite of the legal basis of what the First Amendment is about. The First Amendment has nothing to do with constricting people to prevent them from doing something religious in office or to try to make decisions based on their own religion. It does prevent a ban of religion, and it does prevent an establishing an official religion. You can't have an official religion, but you can be religious. Everyone is an individual in the United States government, and everyone is an individual in the United States, period. in public or in private or in public office, you can live out your religion and do what you want based on it. You just can't make a law that establishes an official religion. For example, Denmark has an official religion, and I believe Sweden and Norway do also. So, even England, to some extent, has an official religion, somewhat. America doesn't. We are very religious. We don't have an official religion. You can't make a law regarding the institution of religion. But you can be religious in the way that you make laws and make decisions and do whatever you want to do. You can do and say what you want based on your belief. But here's the thing. I think our First Amendment is being misused. It's like our First Amendment is being misused. And that's a crime. It's a crime that's being used by many people, including a lot of government agencies and government funded colleges, to constrict and to remove, and libraries to remove religion when it's supposed to protect religion. If people want to be religious inside a library, the law says you can't restrict the free exercise thereof of that religion. And the law says you can't make a law regarding the establishment of religion, regarding the institution of religion. The institution of religion, such as Bible study or spirituality and people being religious, the institution of religion in the human race cannot be constricted by that library, because the library is bound by the First Amendment to protect the free exercise thereof. And you can't make a law or a rule in regards to the establishment or institution of religion. So it is actually against the Second Amendment. It's breaking the law. It's breaking the First Amendment law when a library makes itself a rule that says religion is not allowed to be done here because we have to be impartial. Impartiality is not non-participation. Impartiality is allowing everyone to participate equally. If you're going to follow the First Amendment for that library, then you need to allow the Buddhists to do stuff, you need to allow the Christians to do stuff, you need to allow the Wiccans to do stuff, and you need to allow the Jewish people to do stuff, and you need to allow the Norse pagans to do stuff, and you need to allow, the Zoroastrians, it doesn't matter. You need to allow the atheists to do stuff, you need to allow, what's another example? What's a good example of another religion? I don't know. I'm sure you know. Think of one. Insert it. Doesn't matter what name or number they are. If they're not hurting anyone, if they're not doing something that's violent or bad, such as human sacrifice or animal sacrifice or something, if those people in that religion want to do that in a library, the First Amendment guarantees that you can make no rules against them doing it there. And the First Amendment guarantees that you can't make a rule requiring it to be done. You can't make a rule forbidding it to be done. You can't make a rule that says impartiality is non-participation or impartiality is banning everyone, because you're not banning the atheists, and you're not banning the Buddhists, and you're not banning the gay people, and you're not banning anything else that's a belief system. You're just banning certain religions. It's just certain religions that you're banning them. But everyone else's belief system, we have right now a social justice issue. We have right now a civil rights issue, a human rights issue, because the First Amendment doesn't give you the freedom of speech. The First Amendment is only protecting your human right. This is a natural-born human right to have free speech. You have the human right to say whatever you want, to believe whatever you want. That's a human right. Can't be taken away. It's not something the government gives. It's not something the government takes away. The Second Amendment right to bear arms, to have weapons and defend yourself, that's a human right to have weapons and defend yourself. That's a human, natural-born right. That's God-given, can't be taken away. Freedom of speech, freedom of belief, freedom of religion, that's a God-given right. Can't be taken away. The only reason we have a First and Second Amendment is because we are creating a legal right, a legal protection for something that's a human right, that is God-given. And we are one nation under God. The same thing for the Fourth Amendment, same deal. But the point is, I've talked about the First and Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. They can't stop at the door, because otherwise all your rights go away. And we're no different than Nazi Germany. We're no different than North Korea. What if my 14th Amendment right is stopped at the door? What if black people are stopped at the door? What if people who wear MAGA t-shirts are stopped at the door? What if your privacy is stopped at the door? What if... good question. What if the ban on slavery is stopped at the door? So if you can stop your First Amendment and Second Amendment right at the door, then the ban on slavery can be stopped at the door. That's a constitutional amendment. Walmart can say, well, if you walk into our door, we could take you slave. We could enslave you. If you can't pay your debt, you're going to be enslaved if you walk into Walmart. The slippery slope to becoming barbarians is not far, especially if we follow this current left-wing Nazism, because the left wing is a Nazi party. They are the Democratic Socialist Party, and to me, they don't seem very different from the National Socialist Party of 1935 Germany. So I'm just pointing out, we have deep constitutional legal issues that are going on, and our officials, our government needs to start enforcing the Constitution. We need to start enforcing the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Third, the Fourth, the Fifth. All the amendments need to be enforced. This is the law. If you're not following the law, then you don't deserve the badge. If you're not enforcing the law, such as the Constitution, then you're not deserving the badge. And if you're enforcing laws that are actually breaking the Constitution, for example, if the state of California passes a law that takes away the First Amendment rights of students to speak freely on state-run college campuses, then, and you enforce that dirty California law, then you're breaking the First Amendment and you don't deserve the badge because you're breaking the law. The law, the ultimate, the supreme law of the land, the Supremacy Clause, states that, and more importantly, the supreme law of the land, the Constitution, states that the First Amendment is supreme over any state law. If a state creates a law that takes away your right to free speech in any particular place or time, for any reason, then that state is in violation of the First Amendment. And you, as an elected official or as a bureaucrat or as an officer, need to enforce the First Amendment, even if it means fighting against that illegal, unconstitutional law. It's your job to enforce the Constitution. You swore an oath to the Constitution, not to any particular politician, political party, or state law. You swore an oath to the Constitution. That's your law. And so if we follow state laws as much as possible, unless they're breaking the Constitution, in which case we have to follow the Constitution because this state is in violation of the contract that binds our nation together. And it's in violation of human rights, secondly, and it's in violation of federal law. And more importantly, it's in violation of natural law. So you have to ask yourself, officers, elected officials, and bureaucrats, and people, are you a fascist? Do you believe that the Constitution is an obstruction to your will? Or do you believe that the Constitution is the highest and the most glorious and most beautiful work of American literature that exists? And it is what elevates us. It is one of the documents which elevates us above being barbarians, that elevates us above savagery. Are you a fascist? Are you a Nazi? Do you hate the First, Second, and Third, and Fourth Amendments? Or do you value being an American? That's a question I'm going to leave you with this nice 20-minute video. God bless America. And if you're an American as I define it, then God bless you. And thanks for listening either way.